In an interview with Variety, Andrew Garfield talked about returning as Spider-Man in The Amazing Spider-Man 3, saying, "I mean, yes, I'm definitely open to something if it felt right. Those characters are all about service to the greater good and the many. He's a working class boy from Queens that knows struggle and loss and is deeply empathetic. I would try to borrow Peter Parker's ethical framework in that if there was an opportunity to step back in and tell more of that story, I would have to feel very sure and certain in myself." So yeah, not only does it seem like Sony is setting up more appearances from Andrew Garfield, whether he be the official Spider-Man in their Spider-Man universe with Venom and Morbius, since over the past few days following Morbius' most recent delays, fans have begun to speculate that this was to include Andrew. And it's also rumored that Venom 3 will see Venom fight Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man before they team up to take on Toxin. Or they could continue his story with The Amazing Spider-Man 3 and the Sinister 6, which they set up at the end of the second film. And since they've been working so closely with Marvel Studios on Spider-Man over the past few years, The Amazing Spider-Man 3 will undoubtedly be better than the first two movies. Next, according to Atlanta Filming, Letisha Wright, who as you all know plays Shuri, was scheduled to return over the weekend. As far as I know, she didn't come in. Black Panther 2 isn't supposed to restart until next week, but I don't know if that was delayed because of Omicron. And honestly, this is the worst case scenario because Letitia Wright is, as far as we know, unvaccinated and was refusing to get vaccinated, which alongside her injury was one of the reasons Black Panther 2 was delayed in the first place. Then following her injury, she went back home to the UK to recover, and due to not being vaccinated was seemingly unable to return to the US. And now, assuming that she still hasn't gotten the shot, it may be even harder, if not impossible, for her to return due to this new variant. And this makes me wonder if Black Panther 2 will be delayed, with the Marvels replacing it in November. Next, in an interview with IndieWire, Phil Lord says they pushed the animation for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse even harder and further than the first film. We take Miles Morales to places you couldn't even imagine. And Cal Dodd, the voice actor for Wolverine in X-Men the Animated Series, which is coming back as X-Men 97, just posted a picture of himself in a recording booth captioned, "Guess what I was doing in the studio today? So great to be back." And lastly, we have a plot leak for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But like always, take it with a grain of salt as it's coming from 4chan. And while things on 4chan have been fully or partially right in the past, it's by no means confirmed. But here's your spoiler warning just in case it is right, because it does sound possible until the very end. Anyways, the leaker starts off by saying the movie will start with a different Doctor Strange and Wong in an alternate universe that's seemingly very identical to the MCU, and we're meant to think that these are our Strange and Wong. These alternate Strange and Wong are then unexpectedly killed by an unseen force rather violently. And these are supposedly the most violent deaths in MCU history, pushing the PG-13 rating. We get to see the perspective of the unseen force as it stalks these alternate Strange and Wong variants, which I think is a homage to Sam Raimi's Evil Dead. The main MCU Doctor Strange will discover that the MCU is starting to melt. Strange admits to Wong that Thanos was actually meant to win Endgame, and that he forced fate to change by manipulating the events that would lead to Tony's sacrifice. The various times Strange messed with reality is what's causing reality to break down, including the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. Strange finds Wanda and asks for her help. Strange knows everything about Westview and has been observing her, but the orchard that Wanda lives in isn't actually real. It's an illusion, and she's actually living in a creepy forest. Wanda reveals that she's been studying the multiverse, saying there's something in the center of the multiverse that might help Strange fix the MCU and give Wanda back what she wants, something that even Strange hasn't heard of before. Strange knows that Wanda has been hearing her children calling out to her, so they decide to help each other. Wanda uses Strange to find her children, and Strange uses Wanda to navigate through the multiverse. They meet an alternate Mordo who starts attacking Strange, mistaking him for another one. Mordo tells Strange that the biggest threat in the universe is a version of himself who seeks out other Stranges to kill them and absorb their power, wanting to be the only Strange that exists. This evil version of Strange is similar to the one in What If, but is a separate character nonetheless. This version of Strange is from a world that has a history that's identical to the MCU, except in this one, his Christine Palmer married another man, and after the wedding, she gets hit by a car and dies. They then meet another Strange who has a different costume with a ponytail. This Strange comes from a world where the other half of the Avengers got dusted during the snap. They never got the people who were dusted back, so this Strange built a new team called the Defenders, inspired by the original Avengers. And we also meet plenty of other Doctor Strange and Wanda variants throughout the film. We also get to see the aftermath of the timelines where Thanos has won, and this is said to be a rather terrifying scene. Evil Strange isn't the main villain, even though we're led to believe that he is. Once they get to the center of the multiverse, Wanda betrays Strange and they find some sort of magical totem on a pedestal. Wanda uses it and gets corrupted by chaos magic, which allows her to finally pinpoint her children in the multiverse at the cost of endangering everything. They also fight various monsters across different universes. Wanda finally finds her children, but they belong to a slightly younger Wanda. And this Wanda is the sister of the Quicksilver from Fox's X-Men universe. Wanda kidnaps the children and rampages through the Fox universe, which is now also breaking down. The Fox X-Men show up, and the three Stranges team up against Wanda. There's no way to fix the MCU and Evil Strange's universe, so Evil Strange goes insane and fights Strange and Defender Strange, but ends up killing himself out of guilt. The movie ends with Wanda sacrificing herself, merging the MCU and the Fox X-Men universe, and the MCU is now retconned so that mutants were always there from the start. Now the only problems I have with this are that it never mentions America Chavez, Gargantos, or Shu McGrath, and I find it incredibly hard to believe that the Fox X-Men will appear or that the two universes will be merged. Instead, I do think that Wanda will do a reverse House of M, bringing mutants into the MCU, and it is actually possible that she'll die for a reason I'll cover tomorrow, so make sure you come back for that. But let me know what you guys think about all this. Do you think Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man will appear in Morbius or become the official Spider-Man of Sony's universe, and what did you think of this plot leak? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you will never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.